I'm Elizabeth Willett, Senior Herbalist with the Natural Fertility Company. I am a member of Heather Rodriguez's team here. Our websites are thenaturalfertilityshop.com and naturalfertilityinfo.com. So welcome to today. I am going to share with you more herbs. We're getting to the end of the season, the growing season here, where all of the beautiful flowers are, alive and lush. They're now turning gray and starting to die, and the energy's starting to go back into the roots of many plants, at least where I live. And I happen to have two herbs still fairly healthy looking out in my landscaping. Hi, welcome. So I wanted to take another opportunity to show you these plants because I still have them to share. So welcome. We're going to talk about Echinacea and Nettles. They are both amazing immune boosting fertility health herbs. So I hope that I am able to teach you something about these plants that you may have heard of before. You may have them growing near you even. They're easy to grow and wonderful landscaping herbs. And nettles are weeds, so they grow everywhere, but they're amazing, and I'm going to share with you why. So welcome. I'm going to jump right in. So hopefully people will continue to join. Show me the hearts when you are hearing something that you appreciate or that that's helping you learn something new. So Echinacea, we'll start with that. I have two to show you. As I shared, they're starting to die here, our Echinacea flowers. So this one is a beautiful large flower head, but it's not very vibrant anymore. Its energy had begun going back down into the roots of the plant. This is a smaller version, same plant, but typically these petals are this vibrant sort of fuchsia color. So this one had some time to grow still, but it was the prettiest one in the bunch, so I wanted to pick it and show you. I had a hard time doing that, but my herbalist me had a hard time picking this beautiful tiny flower, but you needed to see the color. So this is the flower and the leaf. The flower, the leaf, and the root are used as medicine. This is a cluster of a root. You can kind of see that main root there. Lots of little tiny roots that go off of it. But I just dug this morning as well. The flower, root, and seed are used as medicine, and this is Echinacea purpurea or angustifolia. You're most likely going to see Echinacea angustifolia in herbal formulas or when you're looking for it in the store. This is an incredibly popular and important immune boosting herb. It stimulates the immune system to fight off bacterial and viral infections. It's used in this way no matter if you're dealing with infertility or not. It can be at any point in life. But it may help with acute infection to support short-term immunity when it's needed. Acute attacks of acute viral infections or bacterial infections. You know, acute meaning when the ick hits you out of the blue, just came from nowhere and you're feeling like crud, and usually goes fairly quickly too. I know when you're in the throes of a cold or some sort of infection, it doesn't feel like it leaves all that quickly, but typically these things go within several days to a few weeks, which is very different than chronic immune health issues. Nonetheless, Echinacea can be something to take when you're in the throes of the ick, we call it, or have green meanies. We love to refer to it, colds as having green meanies around here. So, acute infections to help support immunity short-term in the moment. Echinacea, of course, is known to boost immune system function, and this can be to boost immune system function when you have a cold or a virus, bacterial infection from chronic stress. I'm sure that some of you have experienced instances where all of a sudden you have this stressful week at work or in life, or obviously when you're dealing with a fertility health issue and you feel like you're more susceptible to colds, or you get colds when you're experiencing that stress. It can reduce the duration of a cold and prevent the recurrence of cold and upper respiratory infections. So Echinacea, obviously again poor immune health due to stress. It can be useful in preparation for fertility health procedures where there could be a chance for infection such as DNC, possibly. It can be taken prior to, during, and after that procedure. Of course, letting your doctor know that you're using it to boost your immune system. And if you want more information about that and helping boost your immune system during that time, we have it and I can get it for you. It's also maybe helpful for women who have endometriosis. It's been suggested, and there are theories that endometriosis is linked to poor immune system function. And as I shared, Echinacea supports boosting the immune system. In cases of bacterial vaginosis or BV or yeast infections, when you have these, think of the same herbs that you use for cold and flus for helping your body fight infection, because BV and yeast infections are infections. There's an overgrowth of harmful bacteria in places where you don't want it to be, right? So you can use herbs that boost the immune system when you have a cold for other systems of the body as well. Echinacea is actually one of several, I say several lightly, but one herb that can be used in pregnancy. It's a wonderful herb when you are pregnant and you contract some sort of viral infection. It's not uncommon to have that happen. I remember having that happen to me and thinking, why? I'm just, this is not the time when I should be having a cold. But anyway, I did, and I used Echinacea as one herb to help myself through that. It is something that can be used in place of or as an alternative to over-the-counter medications in pregnancy. And obviously, or maybe not so obviously, but also for autoimmune fertility issues. It could be supported during times of acute flare-ups to support the immune system in doing its job, what it's supposed to do for you. We have one product that has Echinacea in it. It's called Candida Balance. That obviously is for when there is a Candida overgrowth or yeast issue. But Echinacea is available over the counter, in many herb stores, in your herb aisles and your supplement aisles. You'll see it almost everywhere. If you have an herb store or a health food store with an herb aisle, there's going to be Echinacea in it. And I have to do a product plug. I hope this is okay. But I personally love Elk Mountain Herbs Echinacea. I don't exactly know what it is, but it's super zingy and it's really fresh. And I feel like it instantly is doing something when I put it in my mouth. It's an amazing product. Again, that was Elk Mountain Herbs. Hi, if you're interested in that product. But again, it's available in many, many, many places. So that is Echinacea. Think immune system. Think short-term immune system issues, viral infections, bacterial infections, cases where that cold comes on and socks you and knocks you out. Help your body work through that fairly quickly, hopefully. It may not be your only thing you do, but it is something to do. And it's excellent as a liquid extract. I'm sure you'll find it in capsule form in many places. Not necessarily something I would do as a tea, but it may be in small doses, the root, especially in herbal infusions, tea formulas. So that is Echinacea. Now about nettles. I grew up calling nettles itchweed, and that's pretty much what it does to you when you touch it. But nettles are amazing. The young leaves are collected in the early spring. So while I'm going to show you this plant right now, which has some seeds on it, don't collect it right now. It really is best if you have the young, new, small plants growing in your landscaping or gardening or garden or out in nature before the seeds come out. And yes, I do touch it. Nettle is a plant that I can usually touch without getting stung. That's not always true. I had an attack with some nettles on my way to get some elderberries a couple of weekends ago. I actually pushed one aside with my hand and it slipped and slapped me in the face. I had these little red welts all over. It will do that to you, but usually I can touch it with my fingers and not have the itch. Because it is itchweed, it will make you itch. Contact dermatitis, it causes that for most people. Something to keep in mind if you love nettles and if you wild harvest nettles, that the juice of the stem actually counteracts the itch and the sting. So if you get slapped with nettles in the face or in the arm like I did, just go ahead and grab onto the plant, crush the stem so it gets nice and juicy, and rub that on the spots. And it will actually, the juice itself will actually take away that sting. But this is nettle. The leaves are used as medicine. Here are tiny young ones. This is the start of the seed. So like I said, this is not the time to pick nettles when they've gone to seed like this. You want the leaves when they're fresh and new and young. They may be big still, but usually they're more like that size. So it's an amazing herb for preconception through pregnancy. Nettles are for everything. I should quote, nettles are for everything. They truly are. And that's what my herbalist mentor taught me through graduate school. They have so many benefits, which I'm going to go into and why. And it is one of the most nutrient-dense plants around that grows freely for us to take, and it's not endangered. And it's everywhere in the wild around here, especially where I live. So nettles are high in a variety of minerals. I'm going to list them for you, and I am reading my notes because I want to make sure that I'm telling you exactly everything as I should. So I wanted to share that nettles are high in magnesium and potassium, silicon, vitamin K, sulfur, chlorophyll, beta-carotene. They actually have some B-complex vitamins, amino acids, serotonin, and they're 10% protein. And they have calcium. And that one I separated out because nettles is known to direct calcium where it needs to go within the body and keep it from where it doesn't need to go. And what I thought of right away when I learned this in my studies was, wow, it might be something I should try. I'm a woman who needs calcium for bone growth and to prevent osteoporosis when I transition through menopause in an older life, right? Most of us are here today. But I also have kidney stones, or have had calcium-based kidney stones, where my kidneys don't properly expel all of the calcium that they need to. So it sits in there and it combines and make these beautiful little stones, which aren't so beautiful when they try to start coming out. But nettles is something versus many other plant foods that contain calcium that I can take, knowing that it will help give me calcium for where I need it, bone growth, and where I don't need it, building up in my kidneys. And then it also is very high in vitamin C and a healthy source of iron. This is really important. This is actually probably more important for fertility health, right? Vitamin C and iron. And this is the point where I have to point out the plants are simply amazing. These leaves have calcium and iron in them. Or calcium in them, but iron and vitamin C in them. Vitamin C is a nutrient, vitamin, necessary for the body to properly absorb iron. So I guess my point is that the whole plant contains what you need for it to do its work in your body. And I know last week, if you were joining us, or if you joined me, you heard me speak about how sometimes you'll read studies or find supplements where things are, certain constituents are isolated from plants. But we herbalists often use whole plants because we know that what the whole plant contains is what it needs to properly do its work in the body. So these leaves are really important because they give you vitamin C and iron, which need to work together in the body for proper absorption of that iron. All right, so nettles is really a great spring tonic. This is why we harvest it in the spring. It's a fabulous infusion or tea or tincture in the spring. When you're coming out of those dark, long, late fall and winter days, the time where you eat food that's more rich, you might indulge in things you don't typically eat as much in the summer. Salads are fewer, meals get heavier, you sleep a little bit more. You know, those times when we just naturally slow down. Nettles is great in the spring when coming out of that to help your body detoxify. So in terms of fertility and overall related health, nettles are great for thyroid health. The vitamins and minerals it contains are key to helping the thyroid manufacture thyroid hormones. Think hypothyroidism specifically. So again, proper iron utilization and tissue formation. It can be useful for women who have anemia or experiencing that as a result of heavy menstrual bleeding. It can be useful if you have heavy menstrual blood loss and during those times of your period when they may be heavier because it has an astringent nature. It is astringent. Yet it may also be great for promoting menses through boosting your nutrition levels. We know diet and nutrients are really important to have healthy fertility, but also to promote and optimize liver function and nourish the blood. Everything very important for having a healthy period. Its mineral content can make it really useful for menstrual cramps, times when you have menstrual cramps. Is supportive of liver function, which aids hormonal balance, and is cleansing to the kidneys. And there's more. Nettles are healthy for, or actually something that many midwives and herbalists use for healthy breast milk production. This is an herb that can be used before you get pregnant, in pregnancy, through pregnancy, and while breastfeeding to help increase breast milk supply. This is as a strong tea, an infusion. You don't want to be taking a nettle tincture or consuming a lot of the leaf like raw in some sort of nettle spanakopita, which is delicious, or nettle pesto, which is also delicious. So in pregnancy for breast milk production, with the guidance of your midwife, it's wonderful as a tea. And you'll see it in many breast milk, mother's milk teas and things like that. Nettles is a common ingredient. And then it can also restore microbial balance in the body. So this weed I grew up learning was itchweed, and stay away from it, is truly amazing. It has so many different benefits. And if you're interested in becoming your own little herbalist and trying to wildcraft and make your own remedies, nettles might be something to start with. Certainly wear gloves if you're worried about the sting. Not everyone is like me and can touch it with my fingers and not have stingies. But definitely choose those young spring leaves, wash them gently and lay them flat to dry on a screen or a thin cotton towel. And then they can really just be crunched up like most other dried green leaves and made into an infusion, a tea. Again, I've had nettle spanakopita, it's delicious. I've had nettle pesto, it's delicious. When you cook with nettle leaves, they are usually blanched before cooking with them. Obviously, we don't want to eat anything that would sting our throat on the way down. So do find recipes if you're interested in making things from nettles. But here are actually some dried nettles that I harvested earlier. You won't see any of those seed pods on there. There are some bigger leaves. But these dried, I'll just crunch up in my hand, put in my tea strainer, and dump freshly boiled water over to make tea. That's just what they look like. It's really just the dry, flat version of that. But it's really an easy herb to experiment with and try making herbal infusions and remedies from. And I certainly can help you with doing that if you're interested. You can contact us through the naturalfertilityshop.com. Contact me if you're interested in our other team members. We have information on our sites about it. So I'm glad you love nettles. So do I. It's not an herb to be afraid of like I was taught growing up. So Echinacea and nettles, certainly herbs that are nutrient dense and known to boost immune system function. Wonderful in the moment, specifically Echinacea when you're feeling ick and sick. And nettles can be taken long term for those wonderful minerals and vitamins and nutrients that it offers. So that's what I have to share about these two plants I just picked outside. I love where I live. I'm in this tiny little place in town, but there's things popping up all around me, and it's fun. Reach out to us with questions on naturalfertilityshop.com. There's a contact us form there, and continue to join us when we come on live at Periscope, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.